Hi everyone, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. This is the Nokia 9. This is my first impressions. So everyone that's new to my channel, hello, good welcome to you. For those that are new, I do focus very heavily on the camera side of phones and also the audio aspects. So once it's had a few firmwares, that's when I'll do my final review and put also, by then I've taken probably anything between 50 and several hundred photos, and they will be included in the gallery. I will do a separate camera review going through every single mode, showing you sample footage from everything. So that's something to look forward to, hopefully. So this video is about my first impressions from a photography point of view, going through realistically all the pros, all the cons. I'm going to show you the camera interface in a bit more depth as well, and just going through some of the key options that you've got. This does have Bluetooth 5, it doesn't have a headphone jack, it does have a dongle, but let's go and actually take a look at what's in the box. So let's take a quick look at the box. That's what the box looks like. This is the quickest unboxing you're going to see. This is the phone. You've probably seen this a million times with the lens setup. This is what it looks like. It's quite a flat screen, power button, volume buttons, and it's actually really nice. It's got wireless charging as well. It's got a single speaker, USB-C, and there we go. And here at the top is where you put your SIM card in. In the box, you get this silly adapter dongle because there's no headphone jack. You get the SIM ejector port. There's some quick start guides, and in this box here, obviously you get power cord. But I will show you that they actually provide cheap, nasty in-ear headphones. That they are cheap and nasty, but they have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Why? They didn't just put that as USB-C, so you've got to use the dongle with those, and obviously you've got the power bricks and USB-C cable. Who cares and who gives a damn about the box? Right, that's the quickest unboxing you'll probably ever see. I'm not that keen on unboxings, as you can probably imagine. So this is the phone. It does have a fingerprint sensor and face. It's showing it hasn't seen the face, the camera's blocking it. So if I press and hold on the, let's just stop that a second. Let's see if I can, no, let's try another finger. No. So this is the first problem. It's very problematic. And I had to enter the pin this time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That is an absolutely appalling situation. So I've just added loads of my apps in. This has got 128 gig storage, but I just want to show you some of the, this is an Android One experience. So you get your usual system toggles that you can see here, and you've got night light. You can adjust them here, and there's a few others that you can add where you've got storage and grayscale is a couple other options, but very, very straightforward. If you go into the main system settings, you've got your usual Wi-Fi mobile hotspot. I'm on 3 UK, I didn't get Wi-Fi calling. You've got your Bluetooth, NFC, all the standard stuff, apps and notifications, battery. So you've got adaptive battery percentage, and you know, you've got all that kind of razzmatazz. 5 hours on this at the moment seems to be pretty okay for screen on time. It should actually have a bigger battery in my book. It's not big enough, should be over 4,000. This adaptive brightness, I don't like it. I might turn it off, in fact I will, because what it does, when it senses you're in a darker environment, it drops the brightness, but sometimes it drops it too much and it keeps it too dark. And you've got the pure display. You've got various settings that you can change on the pure display here. It's a 2K screen, so it's not too bad. It's got always on display, very handy with all the notifications. So I do like that as well. And stuff here on the theme where you can say either light or dark, depending on what the device theme is. Very straightforward, very simple. Sound, usual sort of razzmatazz on the sound. You've got do not disturb, and on the advanced, you've got the dial pads, that sort of stuff. If you look on counts, you can do stuff on counts. Security, just have a quick look on there. So very straightforward on the security. and you've got all the other options here. As I say, the fingerprint is the most ridiculously useless thing at the moment. If it does have an update, I will do a quick video showing it does work. Sometimes it works all the time for me. Other times, as you just saw here, it doesn't. It's got digital wellbeing, Google services, language services and updates, and all the usual bits and pieces. It's a very clean Android One experience. So if I push up here again, this is quite straightforward. So some of the stuff that it adds, and I've added a lot of stuff, so you have to excuse the fact that it's full of stuff. I'm just trying to scroll through. There's absolutely all these apps are mine predominantly, and the only thing that's new is the actual camera app. But what I'm going to do is, obviously, you know, it's got a single firing speaker, and in case you're wondering what that sounds like, I'll just give you a quick listen of this. It's okay. Stereo speakers or a speaker in the tweeter would be nice, but it's better than nothing. That's enough of that noise. So really what we want to see is the camera. So let's just go into the camera, and I might have the headphones here to show you. So looking through, we're going to run through the interface. So here you got flash on, off, auto. Let's put that off. You've got timer 3 and 10 seconds, keep that off. Here you've got different modes, so you can do single, dual or picture in picture. Taking a photo, so use the front and rear cameras for that. You've got your beauty modes, depth on or off. Now when you have depth on, it does take slightly longer on the processing. So I'll show you how long processing takes, but that'd be quite good to do that. Here you've got motion on and off. I don't use motion at all. And then in the main settings, you've got here you can have save raw files in DNG on or off. Again, takes longer on the processing, so it saves a JPEG and a raw file. You can move and adjust the mode managements, which I've done, and I'll show you all the modes. Burst, you can do that. Shutter sound, grid, and for that you've only got one option on the grid. Mirror front photos of front camera. So you've got that, location, resolution. So here the resolution. So on the front camera, you've got the various options here, and I'll show you the different options when we go into video, so you can see the options on the video. And that is it on that side. Very, very straightforward. You've also got 1, 2, 5 and back to 1, or you can do this, but 5 times is the maximum zoom. It is a digital zoom that is happening there. Some of the modes that you have, we will just scroll through. So you've got time lapse, and this is what you'll notice. It takes time to switch between the different modes. So if we now go into settings, let's see if it gives me any options. So here now we're in time lapse. You've only got, you can see you've got 4K, and you've got HDR in 4K as well on the video. And on the front camera as well, you've got 4K and 4K HDR. So I'll cover those modes off on the video when I actually do my full review. Let's go back. You've got slow motion, and again, I don't know whether it bring up any extra options on the slow motion. It doesn't, but again, I will test that out and let you know in the full camera review what that does. You've got video, photo, and then you go into pro mode. So you have white balance, and here you just drag the icon and you can go between different options, back into auto. ISO, it's 100 all the way up to 6400, that's your options. The shutter speed is auto up to 10 seconds, and let's have a look, 1/4000 at the other end, back in auto. And then you've got your exposure. There's no manual sort of focus option. You probably noticed that. That's probably due to the fact that you've got the depth control, which you do afterwards. So let me just bring this a bit nearer. Let's just actually come out, let's go into standard photo. So we're going to take a photo. Okay, we'll take another one. Take another one. So there's no delays in taking a photo. But if we go into Google Photos, and if I go to albums, I go to camera, and you'll see that it's, here we go, it's processing, and you can see up here it says 2 images are being processed, image fusion process, so not ready yet. And I let this run, and it'll just see how long one image is being processed. So you can do multiple shots, but what happens is it does take a bit of time. But I wanted to show you what it looks like. And as you can see, it's done. Now that will then now take time to appear. So here with the icon there, that's the raw image. And this one here, this has depth. So if you, as we're in Google Photos, you can fire Google Photos up. And you can select here, you can select depth, and you can do the blur. It's not a very good shot to demonstrate this with, and you can do background, foreground blur. Let's do that. But there you go, that is the photo. Not very exciting, let's just discard that. But if we look at something that has been done properly, these are the flowers, and you'll see how I took this, how the actual blur behind sort of disappears. And I will show you some photos I've taken at the end so you can have a look. Obviously I do use Adobe Lightroom, so I've got a number of photos, but again I'll show you those properly. Anyway, that's a quick look at the phone itself. It's quite a nice, it's a whole phone. I did get this cheap case on Amazon. I think they all look the same. I'll just leave a quick link below. It's about 7 or 8 quid, and that does the job. You do need a case unless it's a bit slippery, like so. Works quite nice. So now that you've seen what's in the box, and we've also gone through the phone UI, this is Android 1, so you will get hopefully regular updates. Nokia say that's 2 versions for 2 years and 3 years of actual software upgrades. So security updates, 3 years of software up, get my tongue tied, 3 years of security updates. How much further will they improve this camera? I hope a lot, because it's got Zeiss' name on it, it's got Nokia's name on it, it's got Light's name on it, and it's got the Pureview branding. So let's hopefully go through that. But if it doesn't, I will pick that up in my next actual review. It does have a Snapdragon, it is an 845, doesn't seem to be affecting performance. Yes, if it had an 855, it would be a bit faster. It does have a light co-processor that does all the light fusion from the lenses, pumps it across to the 845 afterwards. So that's how it works. It's quite nice. It's got 4K front and back, and 4K HDR front and back on the video point of view. So first of all, what I think would be good to do is actually talk about negatives, and this has been constructive. If you can't accept these points, then that's tough. I don't care. I need to tell you the negatives of this. So the negatives, camera processing slow. You've already seen that. It can take anything up to 30 seconds, typically between 5 and 15. But the more photos in that buffer that it's processing, the longer it can take. Just the way it is. But it doesn't seem to impact the next shot. I imagine if you were doing too many shots, it might eventually get to a point where the buffer expires and it just all freezes. The camera app crashes a lot, so when I've been changing modes and I've been out, suddenly it's can't read camera error pops up, and you have to close the camera up, reopen it. And then I took one shot, took the next shot, camera error, had to close it, reopen it. So it does seem intermittent, but it does actually have. Google Photos takes time to actually show the actual shots. It's actually, I think this is a Google problem, Google Photos problem, because I've seen this in other phones where I'm using RAW. But either way, it's not good enough. and I don't think Google Photos is the best gallery app. I've turned off automatic backups because that seemed to slow it down. So obviously take a few shots, look at the ones you like, delete the ones you don't, blah blah blah, because it's doing a JPEG and a RAW, and that's a lot of data on your, if you have RAW also selected, going up to the cloud, it can use a lot of data up, so I'd rather just see which ones I prefer. To be honest, I haven't had much waste, which is quite good. From a low light point of view, this is not a low light miracle phone. Despite having all these cameras that do things with light, it actually needs light to perform the miracles it does with the 12 stops of extra dynamic range and 1200 depth layers that it can do if you have depth on. And when I mean it can't do low light, I mean if you were in a room and you lit one candle and that's all the light source was, it will really suffer. If you're doing a cityscape at night, that'll work really well because cities have lots of lights, street lights, shop lights, signs, that sort of stuff. It's actually much lighter than you think. But when it's really dark, forget it. There's no night mode. So this is not the camera if that's what you are looking for. And whilst the battery is good, if you use the camera light, it does drain the battery. So I do wish that they'd put something near a 4000 milliamp battery in. Adobe Lightroom is included as part of the free download, but it's not the full version. That's a subscription service which I do subscribe to, so I get the full benefits of the mobile app. And you don't need a Creative Cloud membership subscription. You can just pay a monthly in-app purchase, I think it's £4.39, something like that, for the benefits of the Adobe Lightroom mobile app. But you do get a lot of options in the app without that. It's a shame that Adobe Lightroom doesn't actually do the depth as well. So you have to use Google Photos to adjust the depth, and then if you need to do further editing in Adobe Lightroom, then you import it into Adobe Lightroom. It'd be good if the raw image had the depth that you could adjust in Adobe Lightroom. Well, I can't see it, and if you can, do let me know. So those are all the negatives. Let's talk about positives. Photos look amazing. Some of the shots that you can do, really, this is a photographer's phone. It's not an everyday type phone for someone that just wants a great camera because it's slow. If you want something, get a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, get an iPhone XR, get a Honor View 20 or Huawei Mate 20 Pro, which are quick, fast, Instagram ready, social media ready photos to share. This is about processing, spending time, adjusting afterwards. The shots are okay on the JPEGs if you don't, but they're quite natural and they don't punch out with high saturation. That looks great on the social media sites. But actually you can make these as saturated as you like or true to life as you like, that's your choice. We'll show you some photos just at the end of this. The photos are realistic. Sometimes the extra dynamic range that comes out is a bit odd, like what it brings out in the sky and the clouds. I can't see that with my own eyes, and it's bringing out more detail in the clouds than I could actually see. I talked about obviously the depth and editing the depth. There's lots of bugs. When you switch different modes in the camera app, it's slow. The fingerprint sensor doesn't work. It's absolute BS, total rubbish. Why are they just going to have one around the back? Even if it's a bit old hat, at least they work really fast. There's no dedicated Google Assistant button. The other Nokias do have that. That would have been quite nice. The camera app does crash. There's a few other UI things that I've seen. Despite that, I love the phone, but they are, there are the bugs. But the possibilities, what I like from the possibilities, what this phone actually could lead to. Video quality, video is actually quite good. I've done some tests. I have some more proper video samples with the 4K HDR front and back, and it has the Ozo audio as well, which is really nice. Anyway, here's some camera samples. Enjoy them. Catch you guys soon. Any questions, ask below. Boom.